Hey everyone, Raptorspank here again, and I decided that just wasn't enough fun, so we're opening a second box of Tales of Aria. I did get a few. I have one of these boxes set aside to do sealed with. I know I mentioned in the Crucible of War video that sealed is the best thing you can do when opening a box, but I just wanted to open some of these for fun since I've gotten to Pauper as well. You get a lot more value out of cards in a box, so opening a box has hurt a lot less because oftentimes by opening a box or two, I get all of the commons I need to build new Pauper decks. So I usually get a lot of ground off of them. These will probably be a little bit worse because there's only 3 classes as opposed to 4, so there's less commons I need. So likely the first box probably got me most of the way there as is. But between that and this second box, I should have all of the commons I really need, and a bunch of other really good rares, majestics, that sort of thing. And, of course, we have another shot at a cold foil, so we're supposed to get one, or you're very likely to get one within a box. And again, if we pull something like a Fabled or a Legendary, we should be able to get even more cold foils in the box, most likely. So that would be sweet. I'd also love to see the alternate art because I actually haven't, as of filming this video, I have not seen any example of those because all of them, I know they exist, but I haven't seen anyone actually pull one. I haven't seen any of the pictures online for them. So I don't even know what they look like. I know it's the channel cards, and the channel cards were pretty good to me in the pre-release, so I would love to get one of those. Particularly Channel Thundersteps is the one that was good to me in the pre-release, so that would be exciting. I love the foiling on these packs. That's wild as all heck. But yeah, let's jump straight into it, and hopefully we don't get the crazy whiff box where we don't get any cold foils. We didn't in the last one, but hopefully this one lives up to that as well. So let's dive straight in, and we're starting much like with the last one, a Frostbite token. And does it have a young Lexi on the back? Nope, young Oldheim. So we're not starting with the same thing right off the bat. And our first rare of the box is Snapshot, followed by Frostfang. So we're not opening on a Majestic this time around, but we are getting a foil red Glacial Footsteps, so that's really, really sweet because I think this is one of the better cards you can run in Pauper Guardian, particularly Oldheim, because if it's fused, it gains Dominate, and it's a huge 10 power swing. I mean, the blue swinging for a high damage amount, 2 with 8, is really, really good too, so you might not even need the red one. But yeah, really great finisher for the deck, and just a pretty cool looking foil, actually. Better than I expected it to look. And we have another shield and just some random good commons. I mean, we have Overflex, which, again, always nice to see that. So, that. On to pack 2. Will we see our cold foil in the first half of the box, or is it going to make us really chew on our nails down to the wire, trying to hope we don't get that bad miss? And we have a Rosetta Thorn and Seismic Surge. So, first rare of this pack, we have Weave Ice, and then we have Dusk Blade. Oh no! Well, it's not our cold foil, and that is good news because this is the day 0 ban. It's still playable in Blitz. It's still playable in Ultimate Pit Fighter. In fact, I literally just earlier today put together a Ultimate Pit Fighter chain deck. So, good chance this is going to go in it because it's not playable in Classic Constructed because it got banned that early on, and it's probably being watched for the Blitz format too. So, kind of an unfortunate Majestic, but it's a really sweet looking card, and since I have that Ultimate Pit Fighter deck, I'm actually not that bummed to see this because I'm just going to throw it in there and it'll be really, really sweet. And then we have Entwine Lightning foil, not nearly as sweet, but another Ragamuffin's hat, and just some pretty good commons. Definitely going to have a very solid set for building Pauper decks with, and I love that. That's what we are here to do. I love my Pauper decks, and I love building more. Best thing about getting into Pauper is that I love to build many different decks, and this does not break my bank to do it with Pauper. Well, another double embodiment token. And let's see here. Our first rare here is Explosive Growth. And then we have Weave Lightning. Not bad. And our foil is, another foil Inspire Lightning. Unfortunately, this one is a yellow, so it's probably not going to get played, but really, really sweet looking foil, so that's always nice. And another pair of Runaways. Not bad at all. These are, I think Runaways actually has a lot more potential to see play, because while it is a defensive boot choice, you can actually use this in your sideboard slot to hit 1 damage of any kind. So it can stop physical, it can stop arcane, and it can stop non-specified damage for the lightning gloves, which are, I think, the only thing that does non-specified damage right now, but it can stop any of those sources of damage. So really sweet sideboard card for pretty much any Pauper deck. So having a few copies of Runaways, not a bad idea, unless you're planning to go like Ironhide boots. Or Arcane Barrier is going to be a better way of dealing with arcane damage than Runaways will be, but not bad. And we have Frostbite and Young Lexi. Nice. And our rare, first one, Biting Gale and Weave Earth. Not bad. And our foil is, foil Weave Lightning. So that's a foil rare and a pretty sweet foil in general. And we have Plume of Evergrowth. Not bad. And those are some pretty good comments. Rate of Replenishment, Overflex, all of the big ones that I keep mentioning over and over. Really, really good cards. Useful in a lot of things. Like if you're going to play Azalea or Lexi, you're playing Overflex in those decks, no matter what. It's just not even a question. We have our Rosetta Thorn and an adult Lexi. We still haven't seen a double-sided hero token. Wonder if they're even in this set at this point. They should be, though, because people seem to really, really love those, so I can't imagine they're moving away from that. And our first rare, Cold Wave, and Summerwood Shelter. Foil is, Emerging Avalanche. That is a fairly sweet Pauper card. I think this will have some potential, so not bad. And a Deep Blue. So we have a second one of those. Now in total, and just some generically good Pauper cards. This set definitely surprised me more than I thought it would be. It is a pretty fun sealed environment, so definitely looking forward to doing some sealed on this as well. But definitely interesting that they went to the 3 hero thing instead of 4. I have a feeling they may be sticking to that going forward so that they can have that tighter limited environment. And our rare, Turn Timber and Icequake. Foil is, Break Ground. Always love a foil Pauper card. And Break Ground, unfortunately, it is yellow. If it was red, it would definitely be playable. Especially in Guardian, but unfortunately is yellow, so probably not going to play it, but pretty sweet. And we always do love more copies of Honing Hood. It is a great card for Pauper anyways. And Red Bramblespark, also really, really sweet. In my pre-release that I did for this, I did end up playing Briar because she was kind of like the best generic hero you could go with, thanks to nobody having that arcane protection, and I made it to the winner's table where unfortunately I lost. James ended up actually taking second place because he drew early on and then won the next 2 games, but both of us were playing Briar. Really, really solid. Had a lot of cool cards in the deck, like Channel Thundersteps, but I also had Blink, so Blink was really cool. And first rare, Embolden, and Seek and Destroy. So second Majestic in, and this is a Majestic Ranger one. Really, really sweet. Awesome that it does like a lot of hand disruption, that kind of thing. It definitely seems like they're pushing Ranger much more towards control, which I think is really, really sweet because there aren't a lot of control decks prior to this. So yeah, awesome card. And a foil Lightning Surge. Nice. And another Ragamuffins hat. Whoop. We're knocking our cards off. All right, so that's sweet. But yeah, James and I both ended up playing Briar. I had some sweet stuff like Channel Thunder Steps and the Blink, so I was able to do a lot of go again, a lot of gaining action points, that kind of sweet stuff. So we were able to do multiple things a turn quite often, and we played semi-defensive too to get the most out of Embodiment of Earth. So first rare is Bolt and Shot and Evergreen. And our foil is, Weave Earth. Nice. I mentioned how I like this card. Unfortunately, this is a yellow, but still really, really sweet. And a Cracker Jack. So, Red Inspired Lightning, which, again, that is probably the most likely to be playable Inspired Lightning. If it gets played in Pauper, it will probably be the red one, because that is the one that actually does a substantial amount of damage. But you could always potentially argue for the blue one, but I think if it had Go again, the blue one would be something you talk about. But otherwise, I think it's only really worth it when you're going to be playing the red one to do a ton of damage. Alright, and first rare, Sigil of Suffering, red. That's pretty sweet. It seemed like all the ones we had before were like blues. So that one, and we have Rites of Lightning, first yellow one, and foil Snow Under, which will probably be really good in Oldheim. And since this one is red, it is very playable because it will do a decent bit of damage, and it does create Frostbite tokens when it hits. So that's kind of the key of making it really, really good. And we do have a Honing Hood and Red Singeing Steelblade, really, really sweet. I could definitely use many of these because they're probably going to go into every Runeblade I ever build. At least for the time being, until they print something better, if they print something better. So, very solid card. Well, we have 3 more packs in this half to pull a cold foil in about the same, in the same half that we did in the last one. Shiver and Adult Oldheim. And our first rare is Lightning Press and a blue one, so not bad. And Snapshot. And then our foil is Frazzle, which is definitely a Pauper playable card. So not bad at all. And a red one as well, so those are one of the more playable ones. And we have another Ragamuffins hat, Bramble, Spark, and just some generically good, like blue things like Thump, really, really good because Guardians run a lot of blues to pay for the really expensive stuff. So we're definitely happy to see Guardian cards in blue. Well, we're going to be able to do dual-wielding Titan Fists all we want. I'll tell you that much. We have a lot of Titan Fists between the 2 boxes. So, Break Ground, blue one, pretty sweet. And our first rare is Flash. Another yellow one, which is a little unfortunate, but Weave Ice, nice. And our foil, Frostfangs. That's actually a pretty sweet-looking foil, and that is a foil rare, so not bad at all. Take that, and we do have another Runeblade boots. Very interesting. We're not finding many of the like the Guardian common equipment. I don't even remember what that is off the top of my head. Oh wait, or is that the shield? Maybe we have been getting plenty of that too. Ooh, red Overflex, nice. But lots of Runeblade boots, which again I'd be way more excited about if I thought it was better than Snapdragon Scalers for it. But most Runeblade cards you're going to be running are already at the point that Snapdragon Scalers, like they're already the cost that can give them go again. So Sutcliffe's Swede Hides are Swede Hides are not that great for that. And our first rare, Frostfangs and Sting of Sorcery. So we have a Majestic here. And it is a generic Runeblade action aura. And it basically makes it so your attack action cards gain whenever you attack, deal 1 arcane damage. So it's kind of like another way to give you a rune chant-like effect. But yeah, Majestic, really, really sweet. And a foil Singeing Steelblade. It is blue, which is a little unfortunate because I'm not so sure the blue one will be highly playable, but the red one certainly will be. And blue would still be better than yellow, so not that bad. Coat of Frost, and some good commons. Well, into the second half, and we still have not found our cold foil yet, and we haven't seen any legendaries or anything like that, so we can still hope. We have seen 3 Majestics now at least. Only 2 foil rares, which is a little bit lower than where we were at with the last one at this point, but plenty of time to turn it around. And our first rare here is Weave Ice, followed by Rites of Lightning and a red one, so really, really good. Sweet, and our foil is Biting Gale, so there is a foil rare to start off this half of the box. And the video not really doing it justice, but that is a really sweet foil. And another Ragamuffins hat. So many of those hats. Alright. I swear if we pull another cold foil Ragamuffins hat, no matter how good it could be for Pauper, I definitely want to see something a little bit different. So we'll see if we're that lucky or not. And our first rare is Weave Lightning and Biting Gale. And our foil is Stir the Wildwood. Not bad, although this is a yellow one, so it's going to be the hardest one to pull off or to fit in a deck. But still really, really sweet. And we have another Mark of Lightning. Nice. And just some decent good cards like Emerging Avalanche. Like to see that, even though the red one is probably not where you're going to want to be a ton anyways. With ores like that, you're generally a little more interested in like the blue ones usually. Alright, Rosetta Thorn and Seismic Surge. Still no double-sided hero. Did they not make him in this one? I actually don't know. Ooh, red Bramblespark. And Weave Earth. And Explosive Growth. Nice. And our foil is Mulch. Not the best, but this is potentially pretty playable into an Oldheim deck because of the fact that it has a nice little bit of control there by essentially destroying your opponent's arsenal by putting it on the bottom of their deck, which is probably not where they wanted it. And the red one does 8 damage, which is really, really sweet because that is very hard to block. And if you can pump it, it becomes really hard to block real quick. So that's sweet. Amulet of Earth, not bad. And ooh, another red Thump. Yeah, lots of good cards in that one for Pauper anyways. I'll try to organize our piles a little bit more here. Well, I tried. Alright, well we do have 3 foil rares now. Still only have our 3 Majestics. Titan's Fist and Embodiment of Lightning. And our first rare is Summerwood Shelter and Tome of Harvest. Nice. So there's like a tome in pretty much every set to some degree, and so this is the one for. Although I can't remember if there's Tome of Ice and Tome of Lightning, but it's an Earth Majestic. Draws you cards like the other tomes do. This one is fairly expensive because it costs 3, but really, really cool card. Definitely one to keep an eye on for Ultimate Pit Fighter. And we do have another foil rare. So we have a foil Embolden. Blue one too, so that's actually pretty solid. Blue card's really, really good for Guardians. And Plume of the Evergrowth. And there is our commons. Blue Overflex, love to see that. Well, we pulled a Majestic and a foil rare in that one, so boosting our numbers back up. Well, we have all the Rosetta Thorns we could ever ask for. And Seismic Surges at that rate, too. Right, and Yellow Bramblespark, and first rare, Turn Timber, and then we have Icequake. And for a foil, we have, ooh, Shock Strikers. That actually looks way cooler than I thought it would look. If I can get that to really come across. It's like the wings are foiled, but not necessarily a great foil common. And then we have Honing Hood and a number of other decent commons, but Shock Striker's a bit expensive to make it do arcane damage, so while it's lightning, basically that's what's going to sell it is the lightning aspect will make it something you confuse with other cards, and that's its best chance to see play, but costing 2 to deal the 1 arcane damage to it, I'm not sure is enough to really sell the card. Alright, and we have Titan's Fist and Briar. Right, and our first rare is Cold Wave, nice. And then we have Embolden, and our foil is Amulet of Ice. The amulets are actually really sweet foils, though. I gotta give them credit for that, at least. And that is our cold foil, and it is different from Ragamuffins. It is a coat of frost. That is really exciting, because I do want to brew with both Oldhim and Lexi, and I do think this is a really great way to get more value out of your sideboard than you would otherwise. So, very, very cool cold foil. It is a common cold foil, but yeah, Coat of Frost is pretty sweet. I'm way more excited about that than I am about Ragamuffin's hat. And important to note, we have made it. We have gotten a cold foil in the box, so we are not getting stuffed on this one. So value out of your sideboard than you would otherwise. So very, very cool cold foil. It is a common cold foil, but yeah, Coat of Frost is pretty sweet. I'm way more excited about that than I am about Ragamuffin's hat. And important, I really want to build an Oldhim control deck, so I think this is going to be a real key piece of that. So really sweet. We still have some packs alive to potentially find a legendary or a fabled card, but we have hit our cold foil, so at least we will not be missing out on a cold foil in this box. Whoop. The pack I drop will be the one that has a fabled in it, and I'll probably damage it. Have never pulled a fabled, so that is still left to be done. And our first rare is Bolt and Shot, and then Evergreen. And our foil is Entwine Ice, so we have a foil rare here. Nice. Or is that... No, that's common. I don't know what I was thinking there. I was thinking of Weave Ice. Yeah. Entwine Ice, and another Coat of Frost. The very Coat of Frosty box. This is definitely the box that makes the Pauper Oldhim look very, very exciting. A lot of good stuff for Oldhim out of this one. Although the last box had more for like competitive Oldhim that's going to be in like Classic Constructed, that kind of thing, because of Oaken Old and that sort of stuff, the Awakening. But lots of good stuff for Pauper Oldhim in this one. First rare, Sigil of Suffering, and Channel Thunderstep. Nice, so we got a Majestic here, and this is one of my favorite channels because this card was really, really good for me in the pre-release, so I have a fond spot in my heart for it already. But Channel Thunderstep, really, really sweet, and it's a Majestic, and our foil is awesome. It is a red Overflex. That is really, really sweet because that's such an auto-include for any Pauper Ranger deck. So getting a foil red one too, that's just awesome. And we have a Buckler and some good stuff like Red Stir the Wildwood. Love to see that. And we're on to our last 4 packs. So only 4 more chances to find a legendary or better. But at least our Majestics are starting to get up there. We did get our cold foil, and we've gotten a number of more foil rares. So, box is looking better already. Frostbite and Oldhim again. And our first rare is going to be Flash. Ooh, and a red one. Nice. And then Lightning Press. And our foil is Blizzard Bolt. Okay, that's sweet. That's definitely a good one for a Lexi deck. And a Bloom of the Evergrowth. Nice. Ooh, another red Overflex. Sweet. I sense an Azalea deck in my future. A Pauper Azalea deck. Frostbite and Lexi. Nice. And first rare, Snapshot, and Frostfang. Foil is, foil Majestic, exposed to the elements. So it's our second exposed to the elements, but our first foil one. Really, really sweet. Nice bit of equipment hate there. And a Mark of Lightning, nice. And just some good comments. Last 2 packs. This is it. For all the marbles. That's a pretty good box, even without it. We got our foil Majestic, so yeah, even though one of our Majestic is kind of a whiff with Duskbane, but pretty solid find so far. Lightning Press and Blossoming Spellblade. So we have another Majestic. This one is the Earth and Lightning fusion. So it's an Elemental Runeblade one. This is a Briar card, because right now Briar's the only one that can use it because it's Elemental Runeblade. But really, really sweet card. Definitely good for a competitive Briar deck. So love to see that. And we have a foil Entangle. And then Deep Blue, another one of those. And last pack, we hit quite a lot of Majestics there, and foil Majestics, so pretty solid way to end the box anyways, but will we find a Miracle Legendary in our last pack? Ooh, Young Briar, nice. Alright, and our first rare is Weave Lightning, followed by Explosive Growth. Nice. Good card, at least. And a foil Thump. Unfortunately yellow, so not particularly great. And a Rotten Old Buckler with blue Singeing Steelblade and some other commons. So no crazy cards, no legendaries, fabled, or anything like that. But we pulled the new Cold Foil. We didn't get stumped on that. We did pull a foil Majestic and a handful of foil rares. So not bad, and decent spread of Majestics all around, since we got these 6 plus that foil one. So pretty sweet deck, definitely making, or box, definitely making me excited to try brewing around Oldhim right now. Very excited after that Coat of Frost, so looking forward to that as well.